Let's try this one more damn time. Namaste, bitches. Namaste, everybody. The best thing about path walked are the rocks. Damn it. It's okay. A little of that. I can do a little of that. So, as my audio, the little deterrents that push you at the last second, I'm having it today, tonight. We'll get this live done, edit, chop and screw this video. She will. Kim, the director, will chop and screw this video and repost this thing like a professional. Those of you that are in it for the ride, thank you. I appreciate you. I thank you for those that are waiting. Thank you for those that stick around. And I saw I had like 4 people in here when I first started. I was so mad. All right, so we're gonna do one last audio check. Audio question mark. Boom. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, no, I'm not even about to pick up my phone and do the rest. We not. I just need to know that I have audio. That's it. Mm, okay. Mm. It's so funny because I was so anxious before we started. I was really like a high level of anxiety of like for like 6 minutes. Yes, we can be heard. Thank you, universe. Okay. Okay. Mm. What I was saying before on the first episode of Chopped and Screwed, Brewhaha, that's a laugh, isn't it? This is a laugh, isn't it? Um, what I was saying, hold on. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay. So, thank you. I got it. Okay. So gosh. Um, one of the things or the last things that I posted, or that I put together, I put an audio piece together, that Kim, the director, did an amazing job of representing what I was trying to convey about it's time for women to come together in ways that we haven't. And I'm finding a lot more of that is happening just like without really trying to force the issue and just in basic day-to-day conversations. Thank you, namaste. Day-to-day conversations I'm having. And it was really funny because again, I did not have a necessarily a top. I mean, I did have a topic. I did have a topic to talk about Sunday. And what happened was like, there because there were some things that came up and I kind of deterred from the topic at the time. So um and in coming together to kind of piecing it together about how this was going to go, about what was going to be discussed, um it it was given to me that all of the encounters I had this past 8 days, maybe, well, I'll say past week, have been with just women. I've had, men of power come speak things into my life, um that have presented information to me, um that have given me redirection direction. um it's been nice, but the women, oh my god, oh my gosh, they're so, when I say the women have been, the universe has put a myriad of particular women type in my life, in my way, here in this past week. And I want to take the time to talk about all of the zeal and all of the things, but I feel like I'm going to do a lot of summarizing today, and I feel like these stories are going to come back later, and be like, oh, that time I talked about that, and expound. So there was a situation of massive confirmation that batted like a fierce tennis match earlier this week with me and my mother, and um things were just like in one day, things were just for me popping, popping, popping. And then talking to her, and there was like this conversation had, and it was like more popping, 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 and things were just unveiling very, very, very quickly. And then it carried on. I think probably in one day I had probably six different encountering situations that were very meaningful and phenomenal. That's a lot. I mean, I think I was so exhausted at the end of the day, like 3 a.m. I just was like, I can't digest anymore. Like, I don't give me anything else, please, to put on my plate. So, the one particular situation happens, and I feel like she's gonna hear. I feel like she's gonna see this. I hope you do, girl. You know who you are. Um, So the job I work is a public job. Most people probably know. I'm not going to put it out there, but most people probably know. I work a very public job. Always have. I find joy in a lot of the encounters. Pulling from them, um, pulling from them and pouring into them. Okay, I find the pouring into people, especially people that I consider elders, that thank me for my time. I find that very, and not to say that to be any way, but shocked and like, I guess you're welcome. Um, but this one particular young lady came into my job and sat down for services rendered, and she had this weight on her. So this particular day, I was at work like an hour later than necessary. Me and another young lady who I've had some really great spiritual encounters with. Um, Amazing. And this young lady came and sat in front of us, and we just ushered, you come with us, you come sit here. And she told us what it is that she needed, and we ended up having a major breakthrough in a lot of things she was experiencing. Um, 1 second. I'm sorry if I'm pausing and my audio goes out. It's the internet connection, which is why I did not want to go live on this laptop. It's okay. I'm gonna get the little piece so I don't have this problem next time. Okay. I bought the wrong internet. Okay. Okay. So she poured out her soul onto this desk, and we had an encounter with this girl. I mean, and it was powerful. Um, and not to consistently tie back in, but I feel like every episode is a tie back into the previous conversation had, because that's the way the universe works. It's an overlapping level skill building thing. So she commences, because I'm not going to tell her testimony, but she commences to tell us about experiences she's had that made her question things about her spirituality, about her life, about whether she was even going to heaven or hell, whether she had been forsaken by God, based on what she knew and the teachings that she knew. And what I saw in this young lady, because I really wasn't going to say anything to her the first half hour that she was there, but I couldn't help it because it was like toss the ball to you. And we began to pull things apart that she had some confusion about, and to let her know, girl, it's fine. Like what you're experiencing, we've been there. We've been there as Christians, or um as godly women, as in our walk with how we knew God at the time. Okay. And man, and she poured out an experience much like the first guest had. It was this very vivid, like it heard like it was tangible thing, and she didn't know what to do with it. And then it was phenomenal, but it was powerful, but it was an embodiment of the power of who she is. Okay. And so moving forward, that happened months and months ago. So moving forward, last week this young lady kept coming to my face. She was just right here in my right eye. It's just, I mean, just sort of like a floating head, just her face, just brains, like photos on the Sprite commercial, but and it just kept coming to me for 2 days, very strong. And I even stopped at one point and said, why am I thinking about her? I promise you, if I could have sketched, like if I were an artist, I could have sketched her face perfectly for you. Um, Down to every follicle on her head. And so I go, this is one of the days, this is the sixth encounter day. So at this point, I'm spiritually high as a kite. Okay. I am just blown away by the things that are being given and gifted to me by the universe and by the people put in place um to construct and to guide me, and for the guidance given to them. And I'm like, that was amazing that you would let me even, you know, dictate that, or uh orientate that. Why? Why do I get that privilege? So um I go into I'm stalling. I notice a lot of times when I'm stalling something, if I'm just sitting there and I'm sitting there for a reason. I'm stalling for a reason. There's a purpose. So what ends up happening is I'm on the way home, I'm stalling for like an hour. I'm in the car, I'm stalling in the party. I'm in there. We make 2 rounds for whatever, and I'm like, this isn't a good drink. Blah blah. Long story short, too late. I see a woman. I'm end up walking behind a woman with these beautiful braids, and I was like, oh, that was her hair so pretty. And then I it somehow she ends up behind me, right? And then well, and then somehow she ends up in front of me. It was really weird because I was kind of at the register, like, yeah, I've got the kids and lots going on, but it's a lot of movement going on. And it was almost like, one of those movies we have like love at first sight. Um, you I turn around and looked up, and she's taller than me. She's beautiful. And she looks down at me, and we locked eyes, and I screamed, "Oh my God, it's you." Um it's you. Which remind me, Jess, if you're watching, it's me. It was like that, but it was like, it's you. And she goes, "Oh my God." And I was like, "Where have you been? You've been on my mind for like 2 days." Now I sound like a psycho, right? Because I don't know where she is right now with her walk and what was discussed, or even if she remembered us or me or the conversation that was had. Um, I will say this, one of the things I will say is that she told us before she came into our establishment, she prayed to God because she was on her last leg of a break. And she said that when she pulled into the parking lot, if I have this wrong, sis, correct me. But I know one of these parts I got absolutely right. She says that she parked the car, and in her window floated a white feather and landed on the seat. And she knew that that was the universe telling her, the universe was telling her everything was going to be okay. That was something she detailed at the end of everything, something we didn't even knew. So it wasn't something that was to feed into, which would not be the case. But I found it, I think we cried. Oh my gosh, when I saw her, I screamed, "It's you. Where have you been? You've been on my mind." And my first instinct was to give her the channel, not for whatever, but it shocked me when I got home. My first instinct wasn't to give her my number. Okay. And I remember saying to her, "There's something for you. There's something for you." And not here, not at this channel, not there's just something for you. I don't know if I was supposed to buy this girl a birthday gift, if she needed just a good word. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm gonna be very honest, she was what we would consider, what I would consider, for whatever reason, the way that that happened. I mean, it blew my ever loving mind. Never in a million years I think I would run into her. Um I had an encounter with a pastor. She made sure to tell me she wasn't a traditional church. Okay. I she The universe, she never, this is what I always get. I never come into this place, not this one, for one reason or another, but I'm here today. And this woman spoke to a situation. The universe gave her a word for me that was more powerful than I've probably said in a many sermons in the church. It was so, and as she spoke in tongues, I could hear and understand them, as that's an interpretation that at a point I was gifted. And she just was so powerful and just so poignant. The universe, so powerful, so poignant through a woman. Another encounter I had through a woman today, I had a woman give me in the universe and how to open your mouth and to speak those things. And she talked to me about women being together, and the biggest thing about her story was the small the great from a fall in front of a hospital. She found how the universe took that and twisted and to appropriate everything she needed done, and it was handed to her. And do you know what she said? Because I opened my mouth and I spoke it, and the universe says, tell me what you want. That's a power that we have, but as women. And she was from the land. Do you hear me? Never seen this woman day in my life, ever. And she thanked me for my time. She thanked me for an impart and the whole imparting. And it was almost like going to have a tooth pulled, and she worked that thing. And I mean, in that conversation, and she showed me, and she pulled that thing, and she pulled things out of me today, and replaced some things, and me a more amazing conversation with this woman, and for no reason at all, save for this great universe and recognizing the power of what's in me. Now, imagine just three, because there were more. Okay, imagine those three particular women manifesting, nurturing, cultivating, growing things out of it, practically thin air. It's nothing. I mean, I know that right now, the biggest thing was about women getting together. The biggest impartation I had right before I started the first live, and that's why I was almost so determined to get it out today, was that all of the major massive given to me through the universe by other women was powerful. So many times do we take ourselves away from other women for things like shame, not wanting to own up to our worth, um, not wanting to just deal with it at the time. Um, we pull away from women, we pull away from ourselves. A lot of times we don't want to look ourselves in the mirror. A lot of conversations I have with, my mother, I don't necessarily want to have them, because it's kind of like, if you could put that mirror down for 2 seconds on the ground, you're fine. But if there are, you could twist your ankle and fall, this, that, and the other. How are you going to complete the rest of the race? Well, that's what it is. Sometimes you need a reminder that, hey, it's not just a straight run. You can't just keep put your blockers on and look only straight. So do about everything. You've got to think forward first for everyone else. But taking the time, it's time for us, because we've been mocked and mimicked as, needing to be the strongholds, which we are. Who fills your bucket, right? And it's not always your due. That's I almost said gross, but okay. You need to find you another woman to fill your bucket too. Having those shared experiences, when you think about witches, and they say, oh, witches get together, or they get together. I mean, you want to call them witches or whatever, they get together. So so like as you find yourself like shying away from sharing your experiences with someone else who's having the same experience, not wanting to share that experience for sake of embarrassment or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you just need to say it. Like be honest with one another, like complete transparency with that woman, and you need to get together with that woman and figure it out for yourself as a woman. We are very amazing, powerful, sacred creatures. I did was gonna say that, but I did. And we have the ability to appreciate each other more than anything else. Do you know how much no other woman, no other person knows more than a woman how much work it takes to get after minimal sleep, do your hair, makeup, put on accessories, go smile, be kind, smell good, bathe, brush your teeth, wear shoes that hurt your feet. Like if you look, you can't look at a woman who's done all of the things it takes to put a woman together and snark at that. That's like work of fucking art. Because if you knew what we looked like in the morning when we got up, some of y'all do. It's not pretty to us either. Every woman wants to. I woke up like this. Everybody wants to wake up like that. That's not how it works. Flawless my ass. I don't even know how I get rid of half the stuff I get rid of before it's time for me to go to work. Trust me. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your house doesn't have to be pristine clean for someone to come by and and see you in your bullshit and pick you off the floor and say, "Girl, your worth is this. Your worth is this." Okay? No, we as mothers fight for our daughters because we want them to understand their worth. You know? We tear apart our own personal relationship with our female daughters and vice versa because all as a mother you want is for her to know her worth. That's it. So and I'm 100% heaven hold hellfire equator earth heaven guilty of shutting down, as we call it now. That's the acceptable term. We shut it down. We shut down. Um, to not deal, which is okay to pull away at times, but don't stay gone too long, sis. You're needed. You're needed, and you definitely need other women in your circle, okay, to help you regenerate all of those amazing molecular energy particles, all in your DNA being who you are. We oftentimes think about healing from the outside. It starts side. That's how you could have a and or a fever and put something on your forehead to cool the temperature or your forehead. But if you're not doing anything to that makes no sense. Drink plenty of water, flush it out, okay? Vitamin C, well, if you're taking that shit in the first place, you probably would have a cold now. But that's the whole thing. We don't ever think about the things until they're us and we are really internalizing it. We're internalizing the stress, we're internalizing it. And that's when it becomes a situation where you don't see it and you're having that fucking heart attack or otherwise. We always put ourselves first. That's why the girl right out is you need right, bitch. That part. Okay. You need to go out with your girls, laugh a little, a lot, laugh a hell of a lot, talk about some things, come to some understandings, and know that this is a time for us as women to you know what I feel like? I feel like that lady, the do not hate me and do not take my car. God, the movie where they had the army of women. Okay, it reminds me of that. I really reading into some other stuff. Really, just now that I'm thinking about it, honestly, truly feel like you know how it goes when things are put out there in the universe. And you're like, oh, I saw a movie that was cute. No, black girls, get yourself together. This black girl magic stuff is not a joke. It is not a saying. It is not a phrase. Just and it is put out there as such to be taken as not a joke, to be taken as just the common, you know, not that it doesn't have power, not that the phrase black girl magic doesn't have power, because it does, it really does. And just saying it, say black girl magic, black lady courtroom, so it does. But where did it come from? I mean, why specifically that way? This period of time, we know what's going on. We know what's going on, moving these dimensions. There are so many more women that I encounter every day that wholeheartedly are wearing, and we'll just spark up a conversation. And each time it's every time my mouth drops more and more to the floor. My jaw should be dragging the the interstate right now. I find it so, I mean, shocking in the greatest of ways, the most amazing way that so many women are cultivating self from the inside. So if that starts happening and more of that starts happening, do you already know what's getting ready to happen? You already know what's going down. You already know what's getting ready to happen. And um I believe that it's going to be an amazing feat. I just want to see a push. That's going to be my push. I want to see a push for women to really and be more transparent with each other. Because you're going to find a lot of times that that girl's got the same exact shit going on that you do. And then what happens is you find out that she's just like you. And then what happens is y'all find out and have a meeting of the minds. And then what finds out is you realize you can do shit together, that you've got this amazing ability to be superwomen. Um, the new Marvel movie coming out, I think, has like a lead as a woman. Yeah, I'm finding a lot more of that. Um, especially us as oh, it's funny. So yes, women get together. Get together. It's perfectly okay. Get with your sisters, call your daughters, check in with them. Not to be nosy, you're all up in their shit, just checking in, sis, and just checking to make sure your headspace is good. When can we get together? I would love to see more of that. I think that it'll be a lot more productive than we've been. Not as women, but this thing is happening. I'm telling you, we got some shit coming down the pipeline. We're gonna need each other. That part. Okay. So it has to be done. Um Oftentimes I feel like when I'm stammering on, which I could possibly be, but when I sit back and listen, it makes more sense. Once I, the way that the message is delivered is not it. So I implore any women that, well, anybody for real, but especially women that um want to share your story. Share your story about um just the nuances of your new beginning or the beginning that you're on. Or and there are women that I know that have walked this path for a while, that have been aware and woke, or whatever you want to call it, for a while. And honey, I have some things I need to learn. Reach out, please. That would be amazing to have some women on, especially right now. I just feel it's a time of upheaval. Well, we know that it is. We know what it is. Um, and if you don't know, stay tuned and keep checking in and listen to, out there that are of like minds, that are discovering their powers, that are discovering their abilities, that are understanding what manifesting destiny really is, that are coming to terms with a lot of the shit we're being fed is so mixed up, so mixed up. I got to the privilege of having sent to me the audio of the author of the book The Church Doesn't Want You to Read, do an interview with, I think it was a guy from NPR. I could be very wrong about that, but honey, I cried. I mean, I didn't cry. My soul wept. My soul wept. My soul wept. So, ladies, if you can get your hands on that book, the book The Church Doesn't Want You to Read, would be fantastic. And on some real stuff, I was very shocked just in the interview, not even having read it yet, just listening to the interview. And I had to put the interview down and take a couple of days to digest it. So, um, I think, sis, that I think that's the thing that I think that's the thing you were supposed to come for. That the book the church doesn't want you to read. So, um, first time I saw that book was on um a post put up by Rod Hayes, and when it was given to me on audio, it was easier to listen to the interview. But it was almost like that thing, like, dude, we are gonna cross this threshold and walk through that door, and damn it, we all should. Man, oh, holy crap. That's gonna come like I need to have a lot more knowledge and footage under my belt. Well, you know what? No, I'm just gonna read the book. And when I read the book, we're gonna discuss it in the story. There went that. Hope for better production. Next one. I really thought I came prepared today. I did, but I didn't. So it's okay. All right. Well, namaste. Namaste squad. There's a lot more I wanted to cover, but I think that the way this went off, I just was like, I'm gonna push through. I'm gonna push through and just get to the other side and worry about the stroke later. Okay. And it was not right initially. I professionally would like to apologize, but I'm in a laundry room. Let's be honest, y'all. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much. And I will see you guys hopefully sooner than later. Thank you.